तर पुण्यामध्ये राहुल गांधी विद्यार्थ्यांशी संवाद साधत आहेत. थेट जाऊया त्या ठिकाणी.
Just removing them from the economy. You can ask any economist you want. That's a disaster. And it had a terrible effect on the economy. 2% of GDP was lost. Millions of jobs were lost. And the economy jammed shut. Frankly, there's nothing that can be done about demonetization now. The damage has already been caused. So there's not much that can be done. But as far as job creation is concerned, there are a couple of ideas that we're working on that will seriously improve the job situation. Number one, as I've said, currently the Indian banking system is completely controlled by 15-20 people. Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi, Anil Ambani. If you're an entrepreneur, you don't have access to bank loans. So we want to give access to lots of young entrepreneurs to the banking system, to bank loans, so that they can start their businesses. That's one. Second thing is, when a youngster in Pune wants to open a business, first thing he has to do is he has to take permissions from different government departments. Go to one department, please give me this permission, another department, third department, fourth department. Every department you go to, you have to pay a little bribe. So by the time you start your business, you're already done. So what we've done in our manifesto, which is a revolutionary idea, we've said that if any youngster wants to start a business, for 3 years, he or she doesn't have to take permission from anybody, any government department for anything. You go start your business. Once you've started your business, take your time, spend 3 years doing your business. If your business is successful, if you've got some employees, 20, 30 employees, then come to the government department for permission. So we want to remove that hassle from you. Second thing, third thing, 22 lakh government jobs are lying empty. India needs to build a education infrastructure, healthcare infrastructure. And it needs to build public government institutions that are good and effective. So we are going to increase our expenditure on education and on healthcare. We're going to take our educational expenditure to 6% of GDP. And in order to run these institutions, we're going to require lots of people. So 22 lakh jobs will be filled to fulfill the challenges of universal healthcare and education. There's another 10 lakh jobs that we can create at the panchayat level in the rural areas. So that right there is 33 lakh jobs. And that's easy. Once we do the Nyay scheme and we pump money into the economy will start, production will start, and you will see that jobs will start up again. But the sad part is that demonetization, frankly, nothing can be done. It's like a injury that we have sustained and we are going to have to carry with us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Rahul.
Yeah.
And there is a next question from Aditya Mishra. Aditya is from Bharati Vidyapit, deemed to be University College of Engineering, Pune.
He's the question guy.
Aditya, please come forward.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, as you mentioned in your manifesto that in the coming government you will replace the Niti Aayog with Planning Commission. So, sir, what are the drawbacks that you saw in Niti Aayog that you are willing to replace it?
The difference between the Niti Aayog and the Planning Commission is that the Niti Aayog gets into implementation of policies. They talk about how some projects should be carried out. The Planning Commission plans India's strategy. The Planning Commission was a strategic institution. It didn't do things at the project level, it did things at the national level. And so that's the difference between Niti Aayog and the Planning Commission. We believe that India needs an institution that strategically thinks about what needs to be done at the global level, not at the regional level or the local level. So that would include, for example, how should Indian healthcare interact with the rest of the world? How should the healthcare industry be developed? How should the civil aviation sector be developed? These are strategic questions. And the power of the Planning Commission was that it was strategic. It thought about strategy, not about tactics. Niti Aayog thinks about tactics. Tactics can be done at the state level. Tactics can be done at a much lower level. Strategy needs to be done at the national level. That is why the nature of the institution needs to be changed. We want a strategic institution that allows us to solve problems at large scales. That's why we are going back to the Planning Commission model.
One more question.
Yeah.
Sir, in the last Planning Commission, there were no non-permanent members.
Sorry?
And in the last Planning Commission, there were no non-permanent members. All were the permanent members. So in the Niti Aayog, there were 2 non-permanent members from science and research field. So in the coming Planning Commission, will you add some non-permanent members?
That's not a problem. I mean, we can look at how the Planning Commission is designed. We can look at what type of people are in it. That's not a problem at all. We're flexible on that. But what we're interested in is a strategic institution, not a tactical institution. And that's the real key. You know, the Green Revolution, Telecom Revolution, White Revolution, these are strategic moves. Bangalore was a strategic move. It was not a tactical move. India needs 2 or 3 big strategic moves right now because we need to compete with China. So Planning Commission is key to strategic thinking.
Thank you, Aditya. Rahul, there is a next question from Ishwari, Zui, Mohini, Jay, and Utkarsh. They are from BYDU DCH Pune. Ishwari, Zui, Mohini, Mohit, Jay, and Utkarsh. Okay. तुमच्यापैकी कोणी एक जण विचारा. तुमच्यापैकी one of you and one question only.
Hello, sir.
चालू है.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So my question to you is, what are your views about the recent attack, the airstrike which took place, and who do you think should take the credits for it?
I think the Air Force should take the credit for it. Okay. Air Force has done it. Air Force has done it. Air Force should take credit for it. And I think it's important that people know that they can't mess around with India. It's important that people understand that there is a cost. It's important that they understand that there is a cost to messing about with India. So overall, I think I'm for the airstrikes. But what I'm against is the politicization of the airstrikes. That's what I'm against. You wouldn't have heard me in any of my speeches sitting there taking credit for the airstrike. I know where credit is due. Credit is due to the Air Force, to the pilots. And I don't want to make it a political issue. I feel uncomfortable, frankly, when the Prime Minister politicizes these type of things. But that's a choice. I don't do it, he does it. That's his choice.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. I'd like to ask Shraddha Mishra. Shraddha Mishra, are you in the audience? Can we please?
You have a question?
Shraddha, wherever you are, can you raise your hand, please?
Yeah.
And then okay. Shraddha is on our right, Rahul. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So my question is, the students which go for education, higher education to abroad, what do you think how our Indian education system will help them for further education? Like, because our education system emphasizes more on theory rather than practical knowledge.
Well done, Shraddha.
You know, the earlier question which I answered about underemployment. The basic problem is that our education system, and not just our education system, our business system, works without taking into account skill. What you're calling practical knowledge is skill. What you saw on the stage, what you saw those youngsters doing on the stage, that's skill. in our system, in our education system, in our business system, even in our political system, skill has to become the key. And frankly, if you look at the education system in the United States, they emphasize skill much more effectively than we do. I've studied in both the systems. So I've seen both the systems. What is very great about India is our students and their capabilities. They're absolutely the most brilliant students in the world. So, frankly, the Indian education system has a reputation, not because of what it does, but because of what you do. You're actually the asset. You're actually the strength. So when people say IIT is a great institution, what they're actually saying is that the students of India are very, very good. But if the institutions, if the education system could add to the power of the students, to the effectiveness of students, it would be truly transformational. In our system, we don't appreciate questions. In our system, the teacher says and the student listens. You're nodding your head, right? I'm here. I've come here. There's 7,000 students here. You're asking me whatever question you want. Some questions might make me uncomfortable. Some questions I might like, but I'm answering them. I've got the guts to stand here and say, listen, ask me whatever you want.